Dun, 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 dun. London calling at the faraway town. We're here in Denver. We're all getting down. We're doing a movie review.
Yeah. I was doing the Atomic.
Atomic Blonde. We should have bought a blonde mannequin head and exploded it. Yeah.
Brown hair.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So yeah, we watched Atomic Blonde, and later we're gonna play some UMC, and I don't know what that flashing means.
And we're probably gonna spoil it like we do everything else.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil Atomic Blonde for sure.
So we need to talk about.
It's definitely We've been on a good run of movies.
We have.
We've been on a really good run, and compared to last year, it's blown last year out of the water completely. And Atomic Blonde, heard about a while ago. I think we started at a festival.
We've been seeing previews forever.
I heard about it like a year ago. It was in a festival, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's the female John Wick," and that was kind of the narrative up until recently. I heard a podcast where somebody called it more of the female 007, which I think makes more sense.
It doesn't
comparing
even,
it to, I mean, spy genre versus
revenge,
like nonstop action revenge movie. This is not an action revenge movie. This is a spy movie with a few action moments.
This is a movie.
It's a spy movie.
It's a movie.
It's about like 15 different spies. Played by 3 people.
It's a movie.
It's a spy movie with some action moments in it. And it was definitely not John Wick with a female. And it definitely wasn't one of my favorite.
It's like if Lucy was a spy movie.
Lucy is. I like this more than Lucy.
No,
Lucy,
I think they're both. This
both
reminded
not good.
me of it.
They're both not good.
This reminded me of the feel of that movie, like
female action,
just how slow it was and how not good it was.
Lucy was horrible. This one was just like, it was overly complicated because a spy movie. So everybody's they're trying to get the fucking watch.
Well, it's like
get the fucking watch.
It's a period piece. It's happening right during when
it's Mission Impossible 1, and somebody
during the
has
Berlin
the
Wall
knock
coming
list.
Down.
Somebody stole the knock list, and we got to get the knock list back because it'll expose.
It's gonna expose all of us, and we're all gonna die.
It's definitely the premise
the trope,
of the movie.
It's been done before. The list of all the
Mission
spies.
Impossible 1.
No, it's been done in more than that, and I don't even barely remember.
I'm just saying, Mission Impossible 1 is a spy movie, better with action moments in it. And it's exactly the same premise. Well, we got to get the fucking list that's going to expose everybody. It's just not set. Although I think they go to Russia, but it's not set in the 80s when
they don't
Berlin
go to
Walls.
Well, maybe the last.
I'm just saying it's not.
I don't
in
fucking
US.
know.
But yeah. So yeah, it takes place in the 80s, right before the Berlin Wall falls. So it's a lot
89,
of 80s music.
88, 89.
Yeah. Late 80s, whenever the fuck that happened.
We got to hear the German version of 99 Balloons about 12 times during this movie, along with a lot of other like
there was another
European bangers from that time.
Yeah, I mean it was all the music fit this movie as opposed to shitty movies like Suicide Squad.
I didn't like the way that it was implemented, though.
Sure. I mean, we saw fucking the best implementation of music ever this year.
And maybe that ruined me for other movies.
I mean, this wasn't...
Like, to where I noticed it.
Yeah.
Like, I mentioned it when we got it. Like, I didn't...
Yeah.
That something about it. Every time it'd start, because it was like, they do it in transitions. This movie transitioned a lot, and like some shots
jumps around from
some shots
things.
Were like you said that some shots are good, like you like, and some of them took me completely out of it.
There's an action scene in this movie that's the best thing of this movie,
and it's still not that great.
Sure, but you have to do more than just one good action scene.
True.
It's just like directors, you got to do more than just like 20 minutes of slow-mo.
And I feel like that action scene that was so good, that was half of the trailer that we saw. I saw
the hose scene is in the trailer. That one.
So's the stairwell scene.
I mean, but the best part of that stairwell scene is the fact that it's edited, but it's a one take.
Yeah.
It's made to look like a one take, which Name an action movie that does that. None of them do that. Even John Wick didn't do that. Most action scenes, the worst ones, that I wouldn't say. I mean, except for the bear rape, that's probably the most actiony action scene.
I don't know. He does a lot of
I guess
murder.
there's some.
He murders a lot.
But there's no fighting. There's no fighting scene.
He fights Tom Hardy at the end.
It's not fighting, bro. You wouldn't turn that on and like, oh, what are you watching? Oh, I'm watching an action movie.
It's a revenge. That's more like John
But
Wick.
there's no. Well, the premise for that, yeah, for the unsubstantiated fake person that's in The Revenant, that's so tragic. It's not historically accurate. It's like, oh, go fuck yourself. Who gives a fuck about a dead kid? But that scene, I mean, just on its own, it's amazing. It's like watching those parkour shit, that like clips from Hardcore Henry that were like, all the parkour movies.
I liked Hardcore Henry better than this.
Sure, I did too. I'm not talking about the movie as a whole. I'm talking about that scene. We've never seen that scene before, and I wish it was in a better movie.
I do too.
Because that was, I mean, it was like
there were points in the action sequence that I got into
it's
it,
just
but
the
it
movie's
was like
so slow in between them. It's just like, I don't care.
It was,
and it's so complex. I mean, it's not really. I mean, you kind of follow it, but it's like, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about this story?
There was no surprise. I cared nothing about any of the characters.
Movie. Oh, guess what happens in a spy movie? People lie and aren't who they say they are. Holy shit!
Are you kidding me?
People get stabbed in the back, literally.
Literally.
But I love all the action moments in this. It's just
they were like all of them.
They were. I mean, the only one I really didn't like very much was the very last one.
Yeah.
The slow-mo one.
Well,
I didn't like that one.
Wait. How the movie starts off,
fine.
where the dude's running away, you don't know what he's running away from. When the fucking car hits him, he turned into a rubber person, and I was like,
no, it was person on strings. It was stump. Like, this movie is a low budget comparatively. Well, it's not CG movie.
It looked ridiculous.
It was because it was practical, and I don't think the director's that good. But it's like mostly practical effects in this.
Fucking
She
ridiculous.
did her own stunt. She knocked out a bunch of her teeth. Like, it was like a very practical movie. It wasn't like a superhero movie where like fake things are doing things. But it didn't look good, I agree, but it wasn't rubber people. You watch every single DC movie and you're seeing rubber people.
All I know is even if it was a real person,
didn't look good.
Good on you for looking at rubber, because like
I mean,
it's weird.
I just watched this video online where this old dude sits on a chair with an airbag that explodes.
I saw that.
When he falls, he looks like a dummy. He doesn't look like... So it's like, sometimes people look stupid when they're flailing through the air in real life, too.
I saw that,
but it wasn't like rubber people.
That shit might have killed that
rubber
old dude,
people,
too.
Probably.
I kind of feel bad for that old guy.
I didn't see the end of it, but
he was like
an old,
like drunk dude, and it was like 60-some-year-old. Fucking airbagged his head.
Yeah, in like third world kind of conditions.
Well, yeah, it wasn't nowhere nice.
No. So yeah, people, but I think most of this movie is practical. I don't think there's much CG in it.
But this movie starts off with some dude running away from people. He gets hit by a car. You find out it's a Russian guy. He shoots him, and there's some vague shit talked about. Like,
well, this is where the MacGuffin comes in. Nothing anybody says means anything. All this movie is about, get the list.
Yeah.
That's in a watch, which is very similar to the universe in Orion's Belt. Or the knock list in Mission Impossible. It's like, this is the reason the story exists, and the reason the story exists so we could do some action-y moments and maybe do some like interesting spy shit. But it wasn't.
They threw in a gratuitous amount of Charlize Theron's tits, which I didn't mind.
It was
but
never
it didn't
like
save
direct.
the movie for me,
because it was never
kind of like underwater or like slightly off focus in the mirror.
Yeah, listen.
Or when she's having sex with the chick from the new Mummy
scenes,
movie.
I enjoyed those scenes. Is that where she's from? The new Mummy movie?
She's the
French spy.
In the new Mummy.
Well, at least this one's, I'm sure. I haven't seen the new Mummy, but I've heard it's like just horrible.
They trashed the shit out of that.
Versus this is rated like 76, so not great.
This got a 76?
Listen, most dog shit gets like 76, 70s is like kind of the iffy range. Like if it's 80, 90, it's probably going to be
Metascore
good.
63.
Yeah. No, it's I looked. It was on the. I can look it up.
All I know is
anyway.
it was not.
But yeah, so it's whatever. So that's like, oh, now the list is in the open. So that's what this whole movie's about.
They're looking for what's the code name?
What
was the code name of the bad guy?
Satchel.
They're looking for
Which
Satchel.
it was kind of unclear. I was kind of confused with Satchel and the other guy that memorized the list.
If he memorized the list, then the list tells who Satchel is. And if it was one of the two people,
It was her.
yeah, but why was he just like not?
Because he thinks she 75. He thinks she
God
can
damn.
get him out of the country so he doesn't get killed, because everybody wants to kill him because they know he knows the list. He's a human list. He fucked himself by memorizing the list. Even though the list still exists, but that's like a secret that James McAvoy's character is playing on Charlize Theron. He's not telling her that he has the list. He's like, everybody's playing everybody. The whole story of this movie is dog shit. Which it sucks, because I think if there was
I wanted this movie to be good.
If there was just simplified, just more simplified narrative of what's going on, keep the action scenes would have been better. They would have played better. The fucking tit scenes would have been nice little, but it was just everything in between the action and the tits was just slow and pointless. It's just like nothing they're saying means anything because they're spies.
Yes.
So we're in a movie of a bunch of people that lie to each other all the time. Nobody knows, but it's like, but I like the action scenes, like the action scene when she first arrives and she gets, the car scene. But that's the thing. Everything
Deadpool.
between those scenes, sure. I mean, it's not like an original thing. Listen, the only thing this does original is that one take scene. Deadpool didn't do it. John Wick's didn't do it. Nobody's done it. Everything else that's in this movie is just like every other action movie.
I think I was so out of it by that point, I didn't even notice that it was like I was like, okay, it's a cool action scene, but I really was
it was awesome.
In my mind,
I was like,
literally
holy shit.
at one point,
yeah,
I was thinking to myself, I might just go outside and smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
Because I really don't give a fuck right now.
Yeah.
And
the only reason I wouldn't have, it was just because maybe I'll miss an actual good, like,
that's
one
what I kept
good action
hoping
scene.
for. And I was like,
that was the best scene. And if you, I don't know,
never,
when I saw
I've never
it
walked
was
out
in,
of a movie in my life.
Oh, we've watched, there's like
but
a majority of movie, like, I had no problem with this. It was slow, whatever. I've been in slow movies. I was just
and
waiting
I know we've
for
watched
good action
worse
movies. Yeah.
But for some reason, it just wasn't in the mood, or something hit me wrong about this movie. But from the get-go, I tried to stay in it. I was paying so close attention to everything. Like
maybe you were just paying too much close attention.
I don't know, man.
Because
it just did not work for me.
None of the details in this movie.
Like I
were
said,
great,
I enjoyed some of the action scenes.
Yeah. I just think it was so boring between all the action scenes. Like, we're exhausted by the time we get to the exact action scenes.
I think everyone like the stylized nature of it. I liked parts of that, like how like the punk scene of like or just I don't know, the club scene and different like things looked good, but there was nothing there. And the shots weren't great.
I think the action scenes are the best part of this movie.
And
I mean,
I do too. And I don't think that they were that great.
These action scenes are better than most action scenes in like.
I don't
like all the
disagree
big
on that.
budget. I mean, we've seen some good
It
movies.
looks goofy to me.
Sure, because it doesn't fit. The action scenes were in the wrong movie. They look goofy because you're going from this stupid, boring, long ass people talking for just to say words. So we can get to the next scene that's hopefully an action scene, which there wasn't that many action scenes either. So it was mostly boring shit.
5 maybe?
It was mostly boring shit in this movie. And when you got to the fucking action scenes, you're so fucking bored and exhausted that it's like, hopefully this can wake me up.
Yeah, it's like, cool, it's here.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, if you
fighting.
took a few of the action scenes from John Wick and put it in this movie, it would just been like, what the fuck did I just watch? It would have been the same thing.
Yeah.
It would have been like, oh, it was cool. But John Wick was a movie of action scenes. This was a movie of a few action scenes, one done well, like extremely well. I mean, that's the best part of the movie, and then everything else is just dog shit around it. Pretty much. I mean, that one take action scene was by far the best moment in the movie. And it was a decently long, I mean, it starts when they get into the building, after he gets shot, and it doesn't end until like they leave the building, they're in the car, even through the car, it's like going back and forth, and until like the car flips behind them, and then, which has happened in every action movie. I get it.
The T-boning happens in every movie too.
Sure.
I was like,
the only original thing.
I was like, oh my god.
The only original thing is that one take fucking scene. Everything else in this movie is typical bullshit spy writing, just not good. Nothing interesting about it.
Interesting about this.
And then the action scenes. I mean, I've seen the hose scene in like 100 Jackie Chan movies. You know, I saw a literal hose bungee jump in Die Hard. Literally jumping out of a building with a hose to escape.
The hose has been done so many times.
Yeah, and then, you know, Jackie Chan's done it a shitload of times. But I didn't mind that. To come up with like an original like fight scene, you go fuck yourself.
The Raid did it pretty well.
It's just how they shoot it. It's all how it's shot usually. Which this one had an original way to shoot a fight scene.
John Wick did it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, they had good style. I mean, they're all stylistically shot different. But this one, I think if every action scene was shot in a one take, like, you fucking step up your game. You're gonna blow your load on one action scene. Why don't you apply that look to all of the action scenes and give this more of a unique look overall?
That was another thing that bothered me. This movie had like 10 different styles of shooting it throughout the movie. It looked like you took like 10 different people.
I didn't
and
get
said,
that at all. It looked
I didn't,
just bland and monochrome.
I'm saying the way they were shooting,
whole,
like the shot, like there was no consistency in the way shit was shot through this movie.
I don't know where you're getting that from, but I didn't notice that at all.
I just in the transitions.
I don't mean to insult a professional director and editor such as yourself to notice an inconsistency in the shots of a movie.
It felt like.
No, I don't want to offend you.
It felt like a bunch
director.
of different fucking people shot.
I didn't think so. No, I thought that more in Rogue One.
Well, that kind
way more. That was just there was just some like this one felt like somebody that didn't know, like it's their first action movie. I mean, it's supposed to be I don't know what the budget was.
David Leitch.
Yeah.
It sounds semi-familiar, so...
I mean, his last name sounds like he sucks. Get it? Leitch?
Leitch.
I
don't know.
Stunts. So he's mainly...
stunt. Maybe he's a stunt guy, an assistant director.
I mean, this was his movie.
He's done stunts on a shitload of things.
Yeah. I mean, this was definitely... Like, to be able to choreograph that one-shot scene and make it look like one shot... You got to know, you can't just go into that. So that's clearly his specialty. So he's doing Deadpool 2. How about that? I don't mind that. I mean, studios are going to fucking rein him in. He had control on this one. He could like do whatever he wanted.
Is he directing that?
Yeah, director, Deadpool 2. And he helped direct John Wick. So
I think I've seen this guy on a podcast before.
Deadpool look probably like animated
I've seen
thing.
this dude on a podcast before. I know I have. Like or he was interviewed on Collider or something
right.
Talking about like him and there's another dude that works with him. And they were both stuntmen and they did like side shit on a lot of stuff and then started like doing their own shit.
Yeah.
So I get
makes sense.
I get a little more.
I think if he I don't know. If like you know how what was that movie before the guy that did The Revenant, but right before that it was just like a lot of long shots but not the whole. Was that Birdman?
It was Birdman, yeah.
Right. So that one was just like a collection of long shots.
Which I really liked Birdman.
I really too. Yeah. Like if this movie went that route where it's like okay, the first one Atomic Blonde, like if in Deadpool he does like a bunch of action scenes because I mean it's gonna be Deadpool, so it's probably gonna be good and written way better, I would hope, because doesn't Didn't Reynolds write the first one or
Well,
something like that?
he didn't write this, and this is kind of based on...
I mean, the writing is horrible in this.
Based on the graphic novel series, The Coldest City.
Oh, comic book movie.
Hey, we saw a comic book movie that was terrible.
You know what? In the world of comic book movies, not that bad. We just don't see a lot of the bad ones. Like, I would rather watch this 100 times than even attempt to watch any of the Fantastic Four movies. The whole
I would
universe
rather watch
of
the first 2 Fantastic Four movies over this any day.
No, that's weird. But yeah. We'll see what Deadpool looks like. But being his first movie, not a bad attempt. It wasn't horrible.
No,
it was just
it wasn't.
The writing was
that's
bad.
That's why I kept going.
The writing was really bad.
It was a movie. That's my best explanation.
That's the most,
it's a movie.
But what did it do good? It didn't do
little bit of action.
It's a mediocre movie. The writing was horrible. Every time people spoke, bad. Writing, bad. Bad. All the acting, fine. No problems with any of the actors.
No one was.
Casting was pretty cool. Different. I didn't mind John Goodman. I liked him in it. I love seeing John Goodman and all this different shit.
I'm not saying that I liked him in it too, but
it's the writing was bad.
It was like fucking 8 lines.
Who cares? It's probably better. If he had more lines, I would hate John Goodman because he spoke horrible lines. The writing in this is horrible, and that ruins the whole movie.
It's not
because everything between action and tits, which don't require dialogue, sucked. But the action and the tits were great, and I didn't mind I liked the fact that he tried to do something ambitious with that at least one scene, doing that whole one-shot choreographed, pretty brutal fight scene where most scenes, I mean, they at least were tired and hurt.
Are you talking about the one on the stairway?
Fight starts when they get into that building,
but I
goes
like
up the stairway, into the room, out of the room.
I like when her and the dude that she got in the face with the key earlier do their last.
That was in the theater. Oh, when they fight again.
Do the last bit.
Right.
That was my favorite, just because they actually got tired. Both of them were fucked up. That
was all in that scene.
Okay.
I get that whole scene. It's them getting away.
Because part of the stairway I didn't like because it looked goofy.
It's because it was all you've never seen it filmed that way.
No,
before.
but I'm saying she would do something, and the next guy would be, instead of just grabbing her, he would be arms overhead to throw, and then so she turns around and it's boom, boom.
Yeah. But you got to realize that how the amount of choreography and how every fucking movie.
I understand.
Look at Bruce Lee's movies.
I understand
where
that.
he has circles of people and they just fight them one-on-one.
Yeah.
As far as how that's been done in action movies,
I thought it looked.
I didn't mind.
I thought parts of it looked pretty goofy, but I did like the last bit with her and him.
That scene was the fucking best. From the moment the fucking dude gets shot and it hits that that bass slow-mo kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was really hoping it would ramp up more, but right after that is when the one shot starts and it goes all the way to the car. And then that fucking car flips.
If she's Satchel,
yeah,
then why does fucking he shoot? Why does James McAvoy's character shoot that dude?
Because he owns the important thing, and she can't get away with it because it's money for him. He has the list. He can sell the list now, or whatever he wants to do with it.
I get you.
So it's she can't have a copy of the list because then it's not. So he kills him. Yeah, but it's I don't know. It's all stupid.
It was dumb.
It was all dumb.
It's just fucking.
It's okay, there's a copy of the list. Why doesn't anybody get them to write it down real quick? That way they have 2 copies and they don't have to worry about that. If that guy dies, then you lose the list. Why don't you get a copy? Why don't you print it out before the computer dies on you? Because once that computer dies, you're fucked. You can't get that list back. They didn't have that kind of technology back then.
What did you think about the way the story was told from the the point narrating. Of it starts off with her getting out of the bath, which was also in the previews, which I thought would have been later in the movie, but technically it is. But it starts there, and then she goes and tells her story.
I think the way it's edited that way, where it's interrogation where she's narrating and it's flashing back to the things that happen. I think they did that just because I would imagine the original cut was way worser, because at least that breaks up the really boring shit with different boring shit. Or different,
But
like
yeah,
shit.
but it's
So
mostly
like just
boring
different.
on both sides.
I know,
like,
but if we just had big chunks of the same boring without splitting, I don't know. It's more of an interesting way to tell it, but it didn't help the movie. Didn't hurt the movie.
No,
though.
it didn't bother
Like, the
me.
editing
But I
in
just
this,
wondered what you thought of like
yeah.
that was because that was another
jumping around.
stylized thing
Yeah.
they were going
well,
for. It was
I
like,
like that the editing in this more than Dunkirk, where it's just like it's confusing. The time delays on everything.
That was
it's confusing. But everything else in Dunkirk's amazing.
But Dunkirk is 1,000 times
I'm
better
talking
than this
about, but they do similar things where they're jumping around in times. It's just this one, I had no problem following it. It was
No,
just
I didn't
stupid
either.
all.
It was just dumb.
Versus Dunkirk, I was like, where are we? Is that just something? Like, I was
Did
confused.
this
with
happen
Dunkirk.
again?
That was bad. Dunkirk, that was bad.
Yeah.
This, everything else was really. This had way more problems than, the editing choice or how they told the story. I was fine with it. It made it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, it's just the writing was just. It was just. I'm interested to see him do bigger budget, and he's gonna have the producer reigns. He's not gonna be able to be creative in any way, and then way better writing, because I'm sure whoever wrote the first Deadpool is attached to the second one.
Yeah,
Unless they want to fuck up
the
Deadpool.
director of the first Deadpool dropped off the second one because like him and Ryan Reynolds weren't getting along.
That's not good.
So this dude took over evidently.
Which I'm fine with. I enjoy. I
But
like it.
The
because
director of the first
just-
Deadpool,
yeah.
that was his first movie too. So
first movie ever.
yeah, he was like a video game guy.
Oh well, then okay, but that's still. He's rendering visuals on a screen.
Well, video games are stories. They're movies now.
Sure, but I mean, it's not when you're designing it or direct. I mean, I don't know how you build a video game, but it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's probably easier to come from that world than the stunt world.
The actors
and to
don't
be
give
like,
you
"I'm
any
gonna be a
shit
director."
when you're directing a video game.
Well, they're still voice actors, which the voice acting in a lot of video games is horrible.
It was.
I think
don't
they've
know.
gotten better, but
I haven't played enough modern games to.
yeah. I mean, I'm just not hearing like. It used to be something that people would be outspokenly negative about, but I'm not hearing ever like, did you hear the voice performance in that video game? Which I'm sure if there was.
Well, I think they're getting a lot of professionals to do it now.
Sure.
Obviously, the gaming industry is worth billions and billions of dollars. They'll fucking they can pay money.
Everything. Yeah. I mean, the same thing with animated movies are getting a lot of bigger talent nowadays.
All right. I don't even know if we even spoiled anything. Like,
I mean, yeah. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Just think of a movie. Think of a movie where there's a list.
It's this movie.
It's not like it didn't set up in any way, really. I mean, it could have if the list was still out there somewhere. Then you gotta it didn't really set up a sequel, which I hope there's not a sequel.
Oh,
Although
Jesus
if the
Christ.
director gets better, does Deadpool, it's good. I wouldn't mind seeing him come back with good writers, because the writing is the worst part of this movie. I don't blame the director at all. I mean, what are you gonna do when you have a script that's like
there
dog
were
shit?
shots I didn't like. There was
Sure, but
sound I didn't
that
like.
could have been. I mean, who knows? Who knows where? Who knows? But
Sometimes I think I'm getting overly critical of movies too.
Maybe
I am.
I think what it is, because we're going to talk about it, is like, what's my initial opinion on this movie, and then I'm either going to start taking notes on the things I hate, all the things that bother me with this movie, or I'm just going to try and focus on the good parts of this. For me, I was never fully out, but I was also never fully in.
But I was.
So I was like
there were a few times I caught myself just putting my head to the side.
It was glaring to me that the writing, because every time people spoke, which is a writing thing, it was bad.
It didn't,
and it wasn't performed badly.
No,
it was just
no one speaks
the plot
like that
of the movie. It's
to
not
each
even that
other.
it's unrealistic. It's just they're not saying anything fucking important, or they're saying it in the most generic way. Either way, I'm listening to them like I listen to a fucking tour guide that's been there all summer, waiting to go back to college, just trying to get through a shift, just kind of like
And on your left,
just like,
you'll see the fucking this and that. And
but the
blah,
acting was
blah, blah.
great. It's just like everything that involved like the story or when people were talking, like the all the conversations that happen are meaningless because the story is stupid. And it's like they're spies. Everybody's a spy.
Everybody's a
so
spy,
it's like,
and everyone's lying to each
yeah,
other.
so it's like, oh, well, then it really doesn't matter what they say. So we're listening to a lot of nonsense.
And then wait,
for no reason.
and then
to
about
make you think something.
fucking a sixth of the movie was re-listening to shit that had happened because they're all video or recording each other.
I mean, you hear some clips. It's not like it wasn't bad.
There was a lot of
It was-
fucking re-listening to shit that had happened before in that
they
movie.
do come back, but we're not spending fucking minutes. It's just like you get a little clip of it before they hit.
At one point, she
I mean,
walked into his
she's-
apartment and that shit
Sure.
was just playing. She's
But
always
she's
listening.
checking out the apartment.
Everyone's headphones are way too sophisticated for right then and there.
Well, they're supposed to look like. I mean, they're supposed to look more industrial, which is an older style. Like things didn't look sleek, right? She
No.
had. It was like everything was made out of metal, and like, but she had a fancy one. It was it was stupid. I don't know. It was. Just the writing was bad, man. I mean, you're gonna get a stunt coordinator to direct a spy movie, because that's kind of tricky. Like you want to tell a complex story where like you're supposed to have like a lot of questions going on. Like there's good spy movies out there.
There are.
I'm not a huge fan of
I'm
the
not
genre,
a
but
ju-
there's spy movies where it's just like, oh, I didn't even know.
The Kingsman.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm
looking forward to
I'm
that
looking
sequel.
forward
All
to
the
the
trailers,
sequel.
by the way, I'm pretty sure I don't think there was one that I wasn't. The George Clooney, Matt Damon,
I like that.
that one looks so good. Kind of like a
there
dark
was, There was
comedy.
another one.
There was the Snowman one.
No,
aside
I've seen
from
that
the
before.
Snowman,
It's okay.
everything aside from the Snowman, like the shots and everything, like
Yeah.
super wide, fucking just like great, like.
I like Fassbender
But it
too,
was-
but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
the Snowman
think-
premise is
no.
stupid. Yeah, there was one was coming out in 2018, and I was so bummed. I was like, oh, Ready Player One. I don't know if that's the one I was thinking
yes,
of.
it is.
There was one before that though that was.
Which Ready Player One, I've known about. I've seen that.
I
I've
heard
seen that
about
on
it like
the,
3 years ago or something like that.
yeah.
at a
Spielberg
Comic-Con
was
or something.
has been in this for a while.
Well, he was. Is he still? I don't think he's directing it.
Yeah,
I think
I
it was
believe he is.
initially. They definitely didn't say that. From the man that completely changed the face of
Well, they
cinema.
don't do that anymore. No.
In the trailer we watched for Ready Player One, it literally said not from the director, not from the producer, from the man that changed cinema and changed the face of cinema.
Look at it.
Steven Spielberg.
Because, but you
I
know,
think he's probably
have
producing
you
it.
noticed that the movie voice guy isn't in trailers anymore?
No, there's more voiceover guys now. I think that guy died.
Well, I'm just
that
saying
old
any
movie
like
guy?
I don't hear that. It
Well, there's-
just plays clips.
Well, that's the
I don't
thing.
hear any of the
People hire
"Hey, Howard."
professionals now. I guess there's no.
No,
yeah, I
no,
know
there's
what you're
no
saying.
voice over it.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
right,
play
right.
clips.
Yeah, that's right.
Director Steven Spielberg.
Wow. It's amazing that they didn't say that.
I think they did.
It said when his name. I mean, unless it comes up again, from the because it was when they were saying, like the credits of the actors
Yeah.
while they're doing it. From the man that changed cinema forever, Steven Spielberg. That's what it said. I was like, this has got to be a producer credit, and they just went completely
I
crazy.
knew I had heard.
I had
a
heard,
long time
but
ago.
absolutely not surprised if he dropped out of. Like, he's been attached to a bunch of shit that somebody else has done.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. But yeah, that actually looked pretty good. But there was another trailer too. But that Matt Damon one, just like offbeat kind of dark comedy.
Written by the Coen brothers.
Awesome.
Did you catch that?
No, but that's awesome
Yeah.
because Clooney works with them all the time,
Yeah.
so that makes sense.
And Damon does too.
yeah.
Yeah, I caught
And
that.
I like
And I
Damon.
was like, oh, hey.
There's very few movies that he does. Like as far as like consistency, as opposed to
he
Batfleck.
brings it every time.
Batfleck hits a few every once in a while, like The Town. I think the ones he directs, he cares more about, and he's usually not. I mean, I guess The Town, he was the main character, but Matt Damon's like,
Matt Damon.
except for a worse spy movie than this, the Bourne series, horribly shot fight scenes where you can't tell what the fuck is going on.
The first Bourne movie, 8 times better than this.
Sure, it's a better movie. Fight scenes, not. There's never been a good fight scene in a Bourne movie. The first, probably the best, because Greengrass is all shaky camera and quick cuts.
I think that was right when shaky cam came into the game.
And he fucking jerked all. That's all he did. That's the green. He made it his style. Greengrass.
Right.
And I think I think he did the first 2 and somebody else. But I tried to watch the newest one.
Yeah.
Which Greengrass came back for. Matt Damon came back
Matt
for.
Damon.
I started it.
I've heard it's
watched
terrible.
10 minutes. And when I was like checked out, and then I saw the scene where
is that?
I think my monitor might be going bad. Or
I think that's the Atomic and Atomic Blonde.
Oh, the neon effect on the fucking website.
Yeah, that's
It's
weird.
been so annoying. I thought my monitor was just going. I thought my monitor was going bad.
Eat a dick thing.
I saw him go into the bare knuckle thing where you want to talk about an unrealistic fight expectation. Matt Damon just walking into a bare knuckle fist fight and laying this gigantic dude out with one punch versus way more realistic
Brad
fight
Pitt and
scenes.
Snatch.
Yeah, but in that one, he didn't just walk in, one punch out.
He took
a beating.
Wait, he took a shitload of shots and acted like none of them hurt him, and then knocked him out in one punch.
A lot similar to Fight Club.
Which I love that movie. I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Like
it's the best Guy Ritchie movies.
But I'm just throwing it out there. Like that's the kind of the same.
It's definitely unrealistic for sure, but 1,000 times better than Bourne knocking out some bare knuckle guy. Just like walking in.
I like the fight where him and the fucking other spy dude that like comes through the window. In the first one,
sure,
and then they do a lot.
But
I think he even survives and like resets a bone at one point. Like
but like following the action,
it's
just like it's stupid. Yeah, where this had like a similar because it was very muted colors. Like Bourne is very muted tones.
They never used. Here's where I think they fucked up with the soundtrack. All right, and this is just my personal.
Right.
During any of the fight scenes. No music at all.
Yeah.
Blaring music in between like transitions.
Well,
I think that they should have used like a toned soundtrack during the fight scenes.
Like a score.
Like not even a score, but like just even still the same songs, but just like maybe not just like full blast like it was in the transitions, but like because the fight scenes part of what took me out of I did like the action.
Yeah.
Part of what took me out was like it
was just action, no audio.
Well, the sound effects for the fight too, like it sounded a little like
I would imagine
what is that called? Where they
Folly?
Folly.
I would imagine
I didn't like that.
The fight scenes, the fact that this was directed by a stunt coordinator, the most attention in all aspects were to these fight scenes. Which makes sense because they were the best part of the movie.
That's the only part of the movie that's watchable.
But I didn't have any problems with it. I mean, they were fine. I mean, they were the best part of the movie. If the writing was really well, then maybe I would have been like, fuck the fight scenes. I want to see this guy do like fucking complex thrillers, or
Let's
like
see
complex
what else
movies.
He can do like this.
Well, Deadpool's a good merge because it's close to this. It's going to be a bigger task, but a lot of studios get these guys because they're fucking easy to control. It's like, oh, what are you gonna do? You made one movie.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you gonna do? And the first Deadpool, they put it together like the studio didn't even want to do it. Like Ryan Reynolds had to convince them. So that's probably why
he'd been lobbying for like.
I bet
5
that's
years.
why I bet the budget on that was pretty low compared to like superhero movies. Like it's just cheaper to get that guy for the first. And I'm sure he was like a assistant director or something. Oh no, he's video game. That's right.
And at the end, she ends up being a triple agent. I spoiled the shit out of you. I guess.
People lied at the end.
She lied to everyone again, and then she was secretly an American the whole time, and she was just doing a British accent.
It's not like it ended with like everybody killing everybody, and then it's just like, oh, the list never got out. Or the list got out and everybody knew. I mean, I guess they could have ended it that way, but it just would have been... I didn't give a fuck about the list. I didn't give a fuck about the story. I didn't give a fuck about her little relationship with the French chick.
I didn't give a fuck about her relationship with the first guy that got killed.
I didn't either.
They never
didn't
made
either.
any of this relatable. You didn't
Writing.
care about
writing,
anyone.
man. It was horrible
You,
writing.
you from the whole start, you didn't care about anyone in
it
this
really
movie.
because the scenes they were like care about them, right?
Yeah.
But the writing was like
I don't care about you.
vanilla, 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 vanilla. Words, 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 words. And the director's like, I was like, I got to squeeze something out of these words. So I'm fine with the director. I'm interested. I'm not scared of Deadpool. Does it make you scared? Are you scared of Deadpool too?
After seeing
Deadpool.
seeing this one, but
You know it's going to be better writing.
and
Ryan Reynolds isn't going to put up with shit.
and what's
know?
his face? Playing Cable, Josh Brolin.
Right.
So like
No, but Ryan Reynolds is controlling that shit.
Yes.
Josh Brolin ain't controlling shit.
no.
Josh Brolin's going to be a good actor. Charlize Theron, good actor.
James
James
McAvoy,
McAvoy,
great
great actor. I really enjoyed his performance. I hated everything both of them said. Fuck the writing.
The French mummy girl, not very good. I will say that. I didn't.
It was just bad writing. She's like a small character that just gets dropped in for like what? So she can be framed with. I mean, it's like why would he when he bugs her?
Yeah.
Why does he want to frame the French chick? Why doesn't he just bug her?
Exactly.
Why do we go through that fucking thing? And it's not like she opened it and thought like if you're gonna do that in writing a movie, okay, we're gonna write it so he bugs her. Why would you do that? Oh, maybe so there's a rift between them. No, she sees it. It's like, oh, he planted this. She knew right away it was planted. So it was a worthless thing to write into the script. Just like, okay, he bugs her. It was just so like they tried to add so much. Whoever
when
wrote
he
this
broke
fucking
into her her hotel room, like in the beginning, and then she like tries to fight him, and I don't fucking know.
I mean, that was
What
fine.
what do you give it? Like, I'm done with this.
I'm good with
movie.
just like a 7. Give it a 7.
A 7?
Yeah, dude.
4.
Guaranteed you rated like Batman and fucking
Probably
all
did,
those shit,
but
like
I don't care. 4.
8s.
I don't put it on that.
I just think like out of all the things, like most of this movie was good except for the writing. The writing was the worst part.
I don't like any of it.
All right.
Little bit of the action.
Definitely wouldn't recommend going to see it in a theater. I don't agree with anybody that says it's fucking John Wick with a chick. It is 100. It's Jason Bourne with a chick. Is way more Jason Bourne with a chick. Because Jason Bourne movies, fucking. Let's just calm down on like the complexity of the government bullshit. He's doing simple things. Stop fucking this movie. Stop fucking doing shit. Understand what you're doing. But I think it's Jason Bourne with a chick. I would go with that. Don't care for a sequel.
To a 5.
I don't care for a sequel. Whatever.